Okay, hey everybody. We are back again here in our sketchbooks. Hopefully, you had a chance last week to do a little bit of deeper digging into your machine. Hopefully, you chose some items for your machine that are recognizable, show both the inside and the outside, and are going to make some really, really good clues for whoever is viewing your painting so that they can guess at what machine you initially started with. Okay. Um, for today, you are going to be taking these pieces that you came up with, your four pieces, and you are going to be coming up with some sort of composition um, for your final work, right? As you all know, Mrs. Dominic does not like to jump right into a final piece and start drawing on a very precious piece of paper without having any kind of planning. So today is all about making sure that what you put on your large square sheet of paper is what should actually be there. Okay, it's what you want because, first off, in your supply packet, you got a large square sheet of paper. That square sheet of paper, hopefully, you haven't used it yet, but that square is a sheet of watercolor paper. It is the most expensive type of paper that I buy for you all in the course of a year. To some of you, it may not feel very different, and to others of you, depending on the brand that I gave you, it may feel very different. Okay. So our final work is going to be on a square. So yet again, I want you to turn to a new page in your sketchbook, and you're going to trace those four squares, right? So here we go. Let's see what I've got. I know I've got a permanent marker around here somewhere. Here it is. Okay, so yet again, I'm going to trace these four squares. And in each one of these four squares today, you're going to combine three of the four machine parts that you drew out last week. And you're going to, man, I'm not really doing this very well. You're going to arrange them in each square in a different way until you find an arrangement, a composition that you like. Again, I'm only asking you to come up with four, and I'll kind of show you the shortcut that I like to use to come up with them fairly quickly. But honestly, when I make a work of art, I will probably brainstorm about 10 to 20 different compositions until I find one that I like. But again, like Mrs. Dominic is not a hobbyist, nor am I a student. When I make my art, I'm typically making it for a more serious purpose than that. So that's why I make so many options for myself to choose from. One of my friends who is a graphic designer professionally, she does it for her job. She'll come up with 150 options for one of her clients to choose from, and they might not like any of those 150 options before she chooses one that or before she creates one that they like. So she might end up making like 200 or 300 different options before she creates something that her client will actually choose and settle on. Okay, enough talk about that. That was rather serious. You're going to come up with four different options. Okay, you have four pieces to your abstraction. And what I like to do is choose a color for each section of the abstraction. So I chose a typewriter for this year. So I have the roller crank, which is what you twist to make the paper go up. I have the hammers, which is what actually hits the paper and puts the letters on the page. I have the keys that you type on. And I also have paper, because without paper, your typewriter is sort of useless. It is interesting, but it can't engrave things. It merely can mark up paper. So paper is quite necessary. So I also chose for myself 4 colors, right? And I'm going to make sure that these things are functioning properly. I think they're all good enough to go. But I'm going to assign a color to each one. So maybe I'm going to make my no, that'll look like the sun. I'll make my keys yellow. I'll make my hammers red. Make my roller crank blue, and I'm going to make my paper green. Okay? It doesn't really matter. The colors are nonsensical. You could pick any 4 colors, right? If you've got different colored pens, you could use pens. If you've got different colored pencils, use different colored pencils. A skinny marker would be fine as well. But 4 different colors, 1 for each object. Then you're going to go to your new page. Okay. Basically, I like to go 1 item at a time. So I'm going to start with, let's see. I'm going to start with the paper because the paper actually fills the page, I think, the most. So what color did I give paper? Green. I'm going to start with this paper, or with the green. My paper is essentially a rectangle with some designs on it. So I'm going to start by putting the paper in 4 different spots. In this one, I'm just going to put the paper here. In this one, I'm going to have it go, I'm going to fill even more of the page with it. Okay, there's option number 2 for paper. For this one, I'm going to have it just peek down across the top. So that means I've twisted it upside down. So now my flower is here. And I'm going to go across. Okay, you get the idea. I totally just did those backwards. That's okay though. All right, so, and then my 4th one, I'm going to try putting it like here. This is not a very good spot for my paper because all that there is on my paper over here is 1 little vine, so that's really boring, but that's okay. I've got the paper in 4 different locations, a different location in each box. Then I'm going to go to my next thing, and for my next thing I'm going to use the next biggest item, which for me is the roller crank, so that's the blue one. And I'll add the roller crank to my picture. Then I will go to the next one and add the hammers in a different spot in every picture and the keys in a different spot in every picture. Okay, they can overlap. You can choose to only use certain parts. Like none of these have the entire piece of paper. This one just has this much. This one's got a lot more. This one's just 1 little corner, and this one it's just peeking down from the top, right? That is all you need to worry about, okay? But you're going to add and add and add until you have put in there each option that you have, each of your 3 or 4 options in every square, okay? So I'm just going to keep doing that. Okay, so now that I have come up with 4 different options, having all the colors on here, it helps me anyway. Hopefully, it'll help you to see where everything is placed. Some of you may like a composition that is more jumbled up, like this one or this one, where things are overlapping a lot, and you'll have to make decisions as to what's on top before you move to your final painting. Others of you might prefer combinations like these where everything is in its place and nothing really truly overlaps. I mean, I got a little bit here and there's definitely some here, but these drawings are like see-through, right? Whereas these ones have filled in. Some of these paintings have no empty space whatsoever. This one, nowhere for your eye to rest. Same thing with this one. This one is incredibly busy and there's nowhere for your eye to rest. This one has a little bit of empty space like right here, and I guess this one has a little bit here and here, which are good things, but having like huge empty areas is bad. So once you have your 4 options chosen, all you need to do is grab that trusty pencil or, black Sharpie or whatever it is, and write yourself a note as to which one you like the best. I personally, I think like this one, which is weird. I wasn't expecting that, but I actually think I like this one. So I'm going to try to recreate this one for myself for this year. Whichever one you happen to like the best, go ahead, but just star it. You have probably done a lot of looking, a lot of drawing, a lot of recreating, a lot of flipping back and forth to get to this point. So once you have your favorite, that is all I want you to do for today. Pick your favorite. If you still have tons of time today, you can go ahead and search, if you're able to, for that white square piece of paper from the school, this one. Hopefully you haven't folded it in half or anything. You do not need to start drawing this yet, but I do want you to make a choice as to which composition you liked the best. Okay? This one you are taking a picture of and you are turning in to me today. Okay? Thank you very much. And hopefully you get a lot of good work done, and I will see you next time. Bye.